Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. Allincrypto here, and welcome back, guys, on the 4th of September, which is a Monday, for another daily cryptocurrency market update. We have a video to get you fired up about what crypto is doing. Crypto is such a blanket term, but what blockchains and DAGs and all these things that have been spawned out of Satoshi's vision are doing to the world. They are transforming it from within. And I think that people have quite a long face in regards to, for some, it's been quite a painful couple of years to be a crypto holder. This has been one of the worst bear markets. We've seen lots of crypto influencers recently come out and capitulate, and they just can't deal with the stresses that it brings. And I think holders, retail is generally wrecked. Now, fortunately for us, we had a bit of an umbrella in regards to the fact that we stepped out of the majority of the 2022 bear market, and we got back into the crypto space in 2023 as we assessed that the revival is here. Now, for Bitcoin, that's the case. Altcoins, perhaps not so much. But if you look broadly further afield at the stock market and other things, they seem to be doing quite well. And we've got a plan in place. And if you want to find out where I'm buying and what I'm buying, please do consider becoming a Patreon. Check it out for a month. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But we essentially are still very confident on the fact that a revival is here. It's here right now, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to start this video off before we get into the week, before we get into where Bitcoin is currently at. We look at some news from the London Stock Exchange, which are now looking to facilitate a blockchain platform. Very common theme here with all major institutions and central banks is that they're all moving towards blockchain. Meanwhile, retail is upset and distraught. I think it should be the opposite. Right now is a golden opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Then we're going to be hearing from the JP Morgan in regards to the SEC. And then we'll also look at the clip again from Jay Clayton yesterday. So I want to start the video off with a clip from Salt that had a panel on recently talking about fixing Wall Street, digital assets to solve economies, markets, and banks. Let's get into this, guys, and hopefully it gets you fired up about what it is we're trying to do here. As investors, we are trying to invest in a technology that is changing the world, akin to the likes of the internet or the PC revolution or the telecom revolution or the motoring revolution. These industries have spawned some of the largest companies in the world. And as an early investor, you would have done quite well. That's exactly what we're trying to do today in crypto. Let's get into the clip, guys.
Here to talk about the digital asset infrastructure and how it's fixing Wall Street. Like it or not, finance is being changed and digitally transformed by the disruption of the status quo. We've seen a substantial shift in the financial sector. Traditional banking and financial systems are being disrupted by digital innovations. A lot of it thanks to many of you guys here on the panel today, and is shaping a new landscape that is meant to be more accessible, efficient, and transparent. So I want to ask you, gentlemen, if we look at the state of the financial markets today, how is it, bearing in mind everything that we've seen through the end of last year, what is it that wasn't good enough for addressing economic inequalities, inefficiencies, and instabilities in traditional markets that's being changed by Web3 and digital assets and blockchain infrastructure? Why wasn't Web2 and FinTech good enough?
Sorry, just a second. So I'm saying solving inequality and those kind of issues are much broader, and there are many factors at play. But certainly where Web3 comes into picture is that it enables market access. For instance, there's a protocol called CredX that enables someone to be able to access credit opportunities in LATAM while you are sitting in a developed market. So I think those kind of opportunities are only possible if you are able to use stable coins and crypto rails. That's one example. The other example I would say is your ability to program money and stable coins, right? 5 years ago, 10 years ago, if a certain country had inflation problems, and if you are not one of the rich, it's very difficult to find a way to hedge your net worth, right? You could only buy or protect your capital in deploying in gold and art and other kind of forms of assets which are not easily accessible to everyone.
Right.
But something like stable coins, what they enable is a fungible way to transfer your net worth into currencies and assets that you can hold on to and be convinced that I'll not lose my hard-earned money because of inflation. So these are the things that, in my view, Web3 enables.
Pat, you seem to agree here. You're nodding your head.
Yeah, I do. I'll take a step back. From an institutional standpoint, the benefits are very apparent in terms of transparency, lower costs, zero counterparty risk, which for the financial markets will be tremendous. And that's why the movement of real world assets into tokenization, eventually into some type of trading on a 24/7 basis globally is just so exciting. But those are the big three: transparency, lower costs, is almost zero or zero counterparty risk with atomic swaps. Now, just to add to the earlier comments, I was part of MakerDAO, which was a major DeFi protocol.
Right.
And it's all about fractionalization and access to third world countries, et cetera. One of my colleagues there, actually, his name's Mariano Conti, and he became somewhat famous in this whole crypto DeFi world because he wrote about this. But he still lives in Argentina, and Argentina's had very high inflation. He was paid in stablecoin. He was paid in DAI as a part of MakerDAO. And so he was able to convert that DAI to USDC at no cost. So he was being compensated basically in US dollars, but by utilizing a stablecoin bridge. So, along the lines of what we've talked about, a lot of that is happening on a global basis. Very exciting.
Mrinal,
I want to leave that there. Web3, blockchain, DAGs, are crypto as a kind of blanket term, is transforming the entire world. And right now, when we look to that clip in regards to one of the Wisdom Tree higher-ups, they can't come out and publicly say, certainly in America, that they're doing this. And they're underplaying massively their involvement in blockchain. Massively. You see these sort of leaks here and there. But ultimately, once you get that regulatory clarity, this bull market is going to be bigger than any other before. And you're going to say to me, Allincrypto, well, how can that possibly be the case when the last bull market had a lot to do with the fact that governments printed a lot of money due to the lockdowns that took place? Are they going to do that in the same scale? They don't need to. In 2000, the dot-com boom got to $5 trillion with the help of Wall Street. Wall Street and crypto are siloed right now. There's going to be a merging of that and an explosion that comes on the back end of that. Guys, I'm telling you right now, everything that I'm seeing, I've never been more confident about this, is all leading up to this industry, reaching trillions and trillions. We got to 3 trillion in the last bull market. We'll get to the 5, 10s, 15s, 20s eventually. I do truly believe that, given the transformative nature of this technology and given what it does to the financial world. It not only upgrades it, but it expands it massively. Now, whether that's a good or a bad thing for things like control and such is to be discussed. But let's now get on to the update, guys. We're going to go through the Bitcoin chart. We're going to look at some news coming out. You guys know that we think that this is still technically a stage 2 breakout until proven otherwise. It's not very good that we've lost our 30 moving average, but right now you are still adhering to support, which is probably one of the only positive signs that you actually have right now. It is hanging rather heavy. Of course, you're going to look for a taking out of this, which it respected here. And then you're going to look for a taking out of this. This week is very low in terms of news. Next week is big in terms of CPI. And of course, things to potentially continue to spike the dollar. Dollar having a little bit of a rest. Is this some sort of a double top scenario? Potentially, but we will see. We need to see that dollar weakness for crypto strength. I think way too many people are bearish here and are looking at the immediate time frame, not where Bitcoins came from. I do not see reasons to start calling for 10 sub prices for Bitcoin. It's absolutely my opinion, and it was at the start of the year where we assessed a fundamental change for crypto, that this is going to hold. Okay, the crypto revival is already here. Altcoins, and this is part of being a crypto investor, I'm afraid, from time to time, have essentially just gone sideways since the start of the year. But I do truly believe, in the same way that they did here, that the revival is here. And all we're waiting on, and we are on the cusp of it with a BlackRock ETF, with this, with that, with the, you know, we already have Ethereum ETFs in Canada. It's not going to be long until this industry gets the green light that it needs to get catapulted into the trillions. Couple that with AI and other things that are going on. People think AI and crypto are separate. Actually, I've been playing around a lot with ChatGPT, and you could literally code up a website through GPT and other things. What do you think happens with smart contracts and blockchain when they immerse? You know, you've got this exponential potential growth for crypto coming from not just the crypto space, but a number of different sectors. So we're going to see what happens this week. We have looked at both the bear and the bull. So for me, where would I sort of flip short-term bullish? Well, first of all, I'd like to get back into this range. And then, of course, you'd be looking at taking this. So bull, bear. Or you could do something like this, full short, and then roll. And then this would set up. We've looked at a number of things that kind of tie in here. This potentially being a head and shoulder scenario if this happens. And also, you know, we looked at the possibilities of, let's get rid of some of these lines. You know, this potentially being an A, maybe a B into a C. And that would be the bear case. This head and shoulders will give you targets around about 20K. Bull case is it holds and you see that upside. But you've got to see it. September is historically quite a bearish month. However, so is January and so is March. The mean, I think, is down around about 6% in September, which would kind of tie in with a little bit lower before you see that upside. And actually, the interesting thing is both March and January were great months for Bitcoin, whereas historically they're quite bearish ones. If you look at what we're on the cusp of, an ETF will get approved. You had JP Morgan analyst predicts SEC will approve multiple spot Bitcoin ETFs following Grayscale's legal victory. It's a huge win for Grayscale. We covered it on the channel. And of course, the other day you had Jay Clayton come out and say a spot Bitcoin ETF approval is inevitable. A little bit of news related to my home country. London Stock Exchange to create traditional asset trading platform on blockchain. The LSE group has been exploring how blockchain can improve traditional assets trading, according to executive. This is from the Financial Times. This is a hugely regulated entity. Who they're working with is still to be seen, but I'm sure there is some background knowledge on that. Do not lose sight, ladies and gentlemen, of what you are trying to do here as a crypto investor. There is such a massive opportunity here that I think people can get fatigue in regards to this market, but it's really due to a lack of understanding of how this market works. You know, altcoins move 5, 10, 15% a day. That is not traditional in terms of markets. You know, if you look at stocks and things like that. However, that volatility can actually create amazing opportunities. And if you understand where the crypto space is heading and what the role of some of these cryptocurrencies is going to be, it's a bright future you've got ahead of you. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Have a magic Monday, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Watch out for lots of videos coming from this channel. We've got big announcements coming this week also in regards to things that you can get involved with for free that will help you out on your crypto journey. And yeah, you know, watch this space. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.